It's here. The SDR Math resource is now available on the Cognism website. Why might you want this tool? Well, if you're a rep that's eager to want to make sure that you're always on quota, and you want to understand what areas of your process you might be able to adjust to ensure that you're always on quota, that's not just about slamming activities, but maybe there's some other areas, is a great tool for you. If you are a sales leader looking for a way to objectively coach and develop your rep, this is a great tool for you. Again, moving away from just telling someone to do more activities to showing them why they need to be doing the activities in order to be successful. And finally, if you're um, an entrepreneur or a business leader and you want to understand how to effectively build a model that's actually likely to produce the results you're modeling for investment or growth in your company, you might want to use this tool. So, SDR Math, that's what it's all about. I want to jump in and show you what this looks like. All you have to do here is come in and you can download a copy. Makes it super simple. This is now on your website or on your desktop or your Google Drive folder. Now that you have access to this, let me show you how this thing works. Uh, there's just a few different metrics that we have available to us that are going to help us understand what we need to do in terms of list size, activities, conversations. That's why it's bolded. Ultimately hit a goal. So those four metrics that we're looking at here are: first, list reach. So on any given list, there's only so many people that will ever pick up the phone. On the phone, I call that list reach, phone picker uppers. Email, this would be those that would respond. Social, those that might connect and start a thread with you, although they may also have visibility to your content as well. So there's a couple ways to think about that. So we're thinking about the phone right now. Reach is what percentage will actually pick up the phone no matter how many times you call them. So that could be anywhere from 20% on the low end up to, let's say, 50% on the high end. We've got it modeled in at 30%. The next is dial to connect rate, not to be confused with reach. Reach would be how many in total will ever picked up. Dial to connect would be when I sit down and dial from this list, how many conversations can I have based on the number of dials that I make in a session. So dial to connect rate, that might range anywhere from 2 to 5% if I'm calling on a cold list. And of course, if you have more premium data or diamond records, phone ready leads, you will see that that connect rate can go up much higher. When I get somebody on the phone, the next rate I care about is what percentage of those might actually schedule a next conversation or a meeting. So our conversation to meeting conversion rate. If I have 10 conversations, less than, well, in this case, if I have 100 conversations, I can expect 8 meetings. Finally, just because I schedule a meeting doesn't mean they're going to show up. What percentage of those show? With those metrics armed as an SDR, I can come over here to the right-hand side and put in my quota. So in any given time, and in this case, let's say it's 15 meetings per month, okay, and 20 working days. Now, if I want to go quarterly, I could say, let's say 45 per every 3 months and 20 working days, and the same math is going to pay out. What this does is with these conversion rates on the left-hand side and my quota over here, it tells me exactly what I need to do. If I'm a rep and I want to get 45 meetings over the next 3 months and I have 20 working days each month, well, I need to be working a total list of 3,400 records. I would have to make 20,000 total dials to get 1,023 conversations to book 82 meetings and a 55% show that'll hit my goal. On a monthly basis, I could break that down. That's 1,100 per month, 6,800 dials, 341 conversations, 27 meetings, 15 show. On a daily basis, I need to be adding 57 new leads to the top of my funnel. I'd be having to make 341 dials to talk to 17 people to book just under 2 meetings for about 1 to show. So that's how that works. What now I can use as a rep is say, okay, well, if this is hard to do, that sounds like it's a lot of work. Definitely is. What can I do to improve that? Well, one thing I could do is have better data, a better process, and maybe I go from 5% to 15%. Now all of a sudden, this is a much more reasonable number. If I also get a little bit better with my targeting and my messaging, I might be able to take this 8% to 12.5%. All of a sudden, I'm getting closer and closer to where I need to be. And if I'm targeting better people. I'm having more conversations faster. I'm not as thirsty for the meetings. Maybe the show rate is a little bit higher and I get this closer to, let's say, 65%. Now, all of a sudden, instead of having to do 300 dials a day, I'm down to 62. I need to research less data, make less activities, to have less conversations to still get to the outcome I'm seeking. Now, I've also included in here the idea of future follow ups. So, when we're targeting, and say 8% or so of our total addressable market is what we're targeting for meetings, over here on the left hand side, I've outlined the buyer's pyramid by Chet Holmes. Chet Holmes wrote a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine and outlines this in more detail if you have never seen this. But in any given market, 3% is buying now, 6 to 7% open to it, 30% not thinking about it, 30% don't think they're interested, and 30% know they're not interested. So on a cold conversation, I might be pretty good at getting that 3, maybe 7, up to 15%. But as we get further into the funnel, it's going to be very difficult to convince somebody from a cold call that they know they're not interested, they're not going to talk to you. But when you follow up, some magic happens. We want to target that at least 40%. That would be the buying now, open to it, and not thinking about it. At least that many of our cold conversations are built into our future follow up. So that's going to help us really drive awareness and understand that even if they're not meeting with us right now, we have a shot at connecting with them. So for every meeting that's being booked up here, we're actually generating future follow ups. Those future follow ups are actually going to connect at about a 4 to 5 times higher connect rate from your baseline connect rate. So let's go back to that 5% example. And if my connect rate on a cold list is 5%, my dial to connect rate on a follow up could be in this 20% range. Okay. And then my conversion rate is also going to improve with follow ups. There's a little bit of awareness. And with the right messaging framework, referencing that previous conversation, we can also expect about a 2 to 3 times lift in our conversion on follow ups. So for every conversation that might be happening up here, where we said originally it was 8%, it might be in the 16, maybe even up to 24% range. Why is this important? Well, if we do nothing else and we just go month 1, month 2, month 3, slugging away at these ratios, we're actually building a list. This list down here is future follow-ups. And if you focus on the follow-ups first and you run your activities through this first, for every 115 dials against this list, I can expect 23 conversations and potentially 4 meetings. That could be done. In this case, if this was our daily metrics, I could do that in almost a third of the amount of activities necessary to produce a fourth, 25% of the same results, right? So up here it's saying for every 288 dials, I'll talk to 14 people and book 1 meeting. Down here on my follow-up list, I can make 115 dials, talk to 23 and book 4 meetings. So over time, we have our cold math of sales, we have our follow-up math of sales all built into this resource to help you stay on track and get an idea at a very high level of what you need to do as a rep to consistently meet or exceed quota, and what you could do as a leader to share some ideas around helping to improve targeting, improve daily activities, improve our messaging, and improve our follow-up motion to ensure that over time our reps are not burning out making dials as our only source of success, but the overall focus on the levers that we can control at the top of the funnel.